Happy Tuesday, Jar of Pain babies. How are you? It is great to be in your head right now. I appreciate. Hey, I gotta say it at the top. If you were at the last Jar of Pain show this last Saturday, December 7th, what a way to go out! It was incredible. The questions were great. You guys were great. The audience was just rambunctious and ready to laugh. I could tell from the first time you laughed during Charlie, our opener set, that you came to party. And it just means the world to us that we could send off the Jar of Pain show experience with a bang. And a lot of you might be asking, hey, why stop the live shows? You know, if you have so much fun with it. I'm going to get real with you. I don't want to get tired of it. It's such a special thing. It's such a fun thing. We'll keep the podcast around. You're here right now. The podcast is here. Look, congratulations. You found out that we did not cancel the podcast because I've been asked a bunch of times. The show works better as a podcast. That's my theory. And we're still going to do a live show. It's just not going to be focused around the jar. I want to do a bunch of different kinds of things. And boy, I'm just so appreciative to you guys out there. It is such a rare thing for people to get behind something you're doing. And I absolutely do not take that for granted. We also filmed the whole last live show. So if you haven't had a chance to come out to a show or you didn't get a chance to come out to this last show, we will be putting it up on YouTube in full. As soon as that's edited and ready to go, we'll probably make a big deal out of it. I'll talk to you probably a few weeks before it comes out. I'm aiming for the end of December, early January right now, but it's over an hour long. So, but yeah, I just appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for everything. This episode is a great episode. This episode is called Bob Ross is Eating Steak. You'll find out why. But yeah, I have nothing else to promote except share the show with your friends. I really believe in this show. I really believe in a space that we can laugh about hard things. We can laugh about weird things too. And I think because you're listening right now, hi, it's Matt. Thank you. That you believe that too. And so if we can find other people to believe it too, we could create like a little place. We could create a place where weird people get to thrive and laugh about hard stuff. And I think that would make the world a better place. So I'm putting on you. Please, if you have no friends, it's also very easy just to like and subscribe on YouTube and like leave a review on Spotify or in the podcast app on Apple or wherever else. Like that stuff is free and easy to do. So if that's you, if you love this show like I love this show, and there's not a lot of us out there, it's just us. I appreciate you being here. Grow the show. Tell somebody you love. Tweet about it. I don't care. X about it. That's bad. All right. You're safe. You're beautiful. You're loved. I'm running out of time. I already talked for way longer than I should have. I love you. Bye. Okay. Still here. Bye.
Jonathan, what time is it? 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 Jonathan, what time is it?
Welcome back to the Jar of Pain podcast. My name is Matt, and this is
Ben.
And this is the podcast where we answer all of life's toughest questions from silly to serious. You can ask a question yourself at jarpain.com. It's very easy. And another thing I like to note is I can't promise we'll be right, but I can promise we'll be passionate. Not my first rodeo. I'm feeling good today, Ben. How are you feeling?
Feel pretty good too. Apparently, everyone's dying outside because there's sirens all up and down.
This
downtown.
happens all day and all night for me.
Oh,
I actually kind of don't hear it anymore.
interesting.
Which is interesting, yeah. Because there's a fire station right down there.
Yeah.
And they also go for like EMT calls. They go for some cop calls. So I hear sirens so much, I barely notice it anymore.
Just mute to the woes of your fellow human. Cool.
It's like I had a friend in Chicago for a while. Well, he's not really a friend anymore. I don't talk to him anymore. But for a while, I had a friend who was in Chicago. I still have many. His apartment was the top level of a building. Right outside his window was the train. Like a train?
Yeah.
It was like some Harry Potter bullshit. Like his whole apartment would rumble when a train would go by.
Oh shit.
But after like 3 hours, it's so consistent
Yeah.
because they run on timers. It's like every 15 minutes. It totally didn't even recognize it anymore. It's amazing what the human mind and body can adapt to.
That is interesting.
Yeah. You shaved again.
I did shave.
Yeah. I'm just noticing it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the viewers, that's a
Yeah.
lie. I noticed it right away when he walked in my house. Yeah. At this point, the show last week went great. I appreciate Barack Obama showing up. I appreciate the ghost of Muammar Gaddafi showing up.
I thought Gaddafi was going to be a problem because he just started digging into those spotted cows.
Yeah.
But he cleaned his act up.
He even brought the knife that he got stabbed in his asshole when they found him, which was really cool. It's a 4-bladed knife, which I didn't realize. You know, when you hear knife, you think 2 sides of the blade. This is a special punishment knife that has 4 blades on it. And that's why they call it getting Gaddafi, because when they found him, they pierced him in the butthole with it.
Oh,
And
so
that's how he died.
I thought they just it was like right in the middle of making like peanut butter jelly sandwiches, and they just had butter knives,
No.
and they just
That's
why they said in the butt.
This is
They stabbed him in the butt.
Sure. No, this is a ceremonial fuck you knife that Iran?
Libya.
Libyans make historically just to spite their enemies. Big history guy.
Yeah.
I've been loving history
You've been
lately.
all up in those ceremonial
cereal.
ceremonial
Yeah, cereal knives.
cereal knives.
Yeah.
I just
Title.
woke up an hour ago, so don't.
I woke up bright and bushy-tailed at 8:30 today. I've been up. I played Rocket
Ooh.
League for a bit.
Yeah,
I
this
watched
boy been-
Despicable Me 2 for a while.
This boy been cooking this morning.
Yeah, I did some
I
dishes.
don't like that I said that.
This boy been cooking. I have been cooking. Should we just get right to it?
We can rip some Suzy Q's.
Yeah, let's do it. You can ask a question yourself at jarpain.com. It's very easy.
And
We
it's
can't
free.
We can't do this show without you. If you put your name, I'll give you a shout out, but most people like to remain anonymous because of the despicable things they put in this jar.
Most people are cowards.
It's mostly butts and cum.
Why don't people talk on the phone anymore?
Well, that's easy because it's awful.
It is awful.
Do you enjoy the phone
No.
at all?
I absolutely hate it. It's my least favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me run it back to you.
If I get a phone call, I consider it an insult.
I don't. Okay. Here's the thing. If I get a phone call, I'm like, someone's dead.
Yes.
If I get a FaceTime, I think, oh, someone's about to die.
Yeah.
Because I hate FaceTiming. What are you doing?
A FaceTime
Text-
out of the blue as well. No warning text. No
Drunk.
warning shot over the bow.
You're day drunk.
A FaceTime in the wild is like, what's going on? What is this?
What are you doing?
I do think it's very common for people our age and younger to not like a phone call
I agree.
because there's so much that can be achieved over text. And if someone's calling me, my initial thought is, what do they want? They need something fast.
Yeah.
And I don't always have the capacity to offer what they need. And you're kind of cornered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or spam. It can be
Yeah, I
spam.
get a ton of those. I don't even answer it. My phone's on silent constantly.
Yeah.
I rarely get phone calls. Mostly because the people in my life know that I will not answer the phone on the first try. But here's a hot tip. And I would say this is a hot tip for almost everybody. Send a text. Say, can we call and catch up this afternoon? Do you have time this week to catch up? I talked to my best friend of all time, who was at the show. Thank you very much. We talk once a week. Like, I enjoy those phone conversations. They last about an hour to an hour and a half. We catch up. We talk about each other's lives. We talk about what's going on. We talk about our families. But it is precursed by, hey, when do you have free time this week? And I'll say, hey, 5:30 on Wednesday. Does that work for you? And I know that that's when he goes to jiu-jitsu. So it just works out. Like, that's because he's on his way. He has to drive like an hour to get there.
Oh, okay. I thought you were scheduling the phone call when he had jiu-jitsu so you wouldn't have to do the phone call.
No. No, I love those calls. We chew up life together. That's kind of the thing we say. And we also call each other during important
historical moments, like when they're happening, we'll be like, dude, what is going on? Like when the aliens come out this month, I think is scheduled. The aliens will make themselves known. Finally. I'm a big history guy. And it's about to be made. So yeah, why do people hate the phone? It's rude to just call somebody. What you're saying when you call somebody out of the blue is your time is more important than their time, and I think that's like insulting to me.
Okay, this is where I'm going to butt in and say if that is truly the case, that is presumptuous and probably a big issue with the younger generation. Just assuming everything. We're always assuming. It's like, no, they just want to talk to us, but we don't want to talk to them.
Yeah.
A little bit out of selfishness because we're like, we don't want to waste our time. Why don't you just text this? But then sometimes it's just nice to hear a voice.
Okay, well, are you flip-flopping on this issue?
Here's the thing. I'm a contrarian.
Yes.
And I also hate a lot of the things us younger people do. For instance, say things like, oh, he's cooking. I didn't like that I said that. The moment I said that, I was like, oh no, I don't like this. I heard a 24-year-old woman unironically use the word Riz in a sentence. She was like,
that.
His Riz was so good.
I like that. I'm about it.
I'm not. And here's the thing.
When I play video games and my friends say, oh, cook, Maddie, I get hyped.
Okay, that's different. When there's hype mode involved, I'm about it. But here's the thing is that I don't think it's because I'm an old person. I think it's because I just don't like young people slang. Like even when we were younger and like swag and epic was being thrown around, like people saying like, oh, that was epic sauce.
You know which one
or people
annoys
saying
me?
like swag.
You know what annoys me, but that I use all the time is,
What?
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
That's not slang though.
But that's a thing that we say.
That is a thing that we say that.
But it kind of is the best way to be like, yeah, like let's go.
Fucking let's get pumped. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, I do hate the slang and
hate the slang.
And
I love it.
I hate a lot of the way young people think, and it bothers me.
I like language.
Language is fun.
So I like the way language evolves. I like how things are brought into the lexicon based on cultural moments. I find it very interesting when like a cultural moment happens and then suddenly it's dispersed within the lexicon of everything we say. I find that stuff fascinating. And so I like to participate in cultural moments.
No, I 100% agree. Well, I don't like participating in cultural moments, but if they're dumb, but I do like learning languages and shit. Like I think that's fascinating. Like learning like the root or origin of a word. Like, you know about Jupiter?
The planet?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
The name.
It was a Greek god or something.
Roman god.
Okay.
And it's made from 2 Latin words.
Jupe?
No. No. It's made from 2 Latin words.
Okay.
The second half is pater, which is Latin for father.
Got it.
And then the first half is Jew, which is Latin for those who control the weather.
And they got some massive weather on Jupiter. So that's actually a really good name.
And when you combine them, you get Jupiter, Lord of Storms and the Media. So that's a joke. That's a joke that it's in my act, and I'm very proud of. Anyway.
Well, you say that on stage?
I've said it, yeah.
How does it go?
It goes good.
Good.
Because nobody knows where the fuck I'm going with it.
Yeah. Well, because I was genuinely curious.
Yeah.
And then you just hit me with a punchline. It was actually a little off-putting for me.
Yeah.
But, now that I know I think if I heard it delivered on stage, I would think differently. I was just so curious.
I was trying to shoehorn it. It does mean, though, the father of storms. Yeah.
And they've had a big red spot on there. That's been a storm. It's kind of like a hurricane that's been going for
crazy,
300 years.
That was named by the Romans. They named the planet with the giant freaking spot on it, with the giant storm in it. Father of storms.
Well, it is the biggest one. They were able to know that.
What do you mean is the biggest? They didn't have telescopes back then.
I think the first telescope was in the 1600s. Oh, yeah, that's way after the Romans.
Way before that.
Way
Well,
maybe they knew that it was a planet. Like they knew that planets and stuff, like they understood stars like we do. They understood what moves, how it moves, and when it moves.
Right.
The planets move differently than stars. So they're able to know what's a planet and what's a star with enough close observation.
but they didn't have the tools to see the thing.
But it's very but it's very possible they're like, oh, when the Jupiter's in this part of the sky, we always get a big storm in the summer. Like, like it's probably more simple than we think.
I'm just gonna go with aliens.
It probably was. And we're about to hit that again, baby. They're coming. December's the month. I feel it.
As the kids say, gang, gang.
Gang,
also,
alien, bro.
That's why
Title.
the title. That's why the kids don't like talking on the phone. Do you have any secret talent?
I'm pretty out in the open with my talents.
Yeah, he's pretty out in the open.
Now, do you?
You
You gonna bring your guitar back today, by the way? I'm just reminding you right now.
I could.
Well, you've just been asking for it, and I don't want you to forget.
I have been asking for
Well, you have this moment of passion to make music once again. I listened to your song. I really liked it.
Thank you.
Yeah, do you want to give a little plug? Or is he being taken down?
It's going to be down by the time this comes out. Unfortunately,
Damn.
also the other song I made, 27, I think that will also be taken down because of metadata issues. Although, strangely enough, I can re-upload the song. However, I need to subscribe to the distribution company's plan, which costs $20 a month.
Yeah, I can help you with that. You can just put it somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Secret talent, though.
You're a songwriter. I don't think a lot of people know that.
That is true. I guess that would be a secret talent for me. I do.
I don't think that's secret for me. I post my clips still.
I mean, and also at the end of the episodes, you do a little sing-song tune.
I did make the theme song.
You did make the theme song as well.
Yeah. So yeah, that's not a secret. Well,
yeah,
it's not a secret.
Well, I mean,
talent.
you do this one trick where you get a incredibly hard erection, and then while standing, you'll put like a little cashew on the tip of your penis, and then you'll catapult it into your own mouth. I have seen you do that. Quite impressive.
Yeah.
Honestly, closer.
Yeah.
Closing bit.
It's a closer move, yeah.
But you never tell anyone about that, and that's, I don't know, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, some things are best left to be surprises when people get close,
Yeah.
But I don't have any other secret talents other than that. I have this awful millennial instinct to monetize anything I'm good at as a side hustle.
Yeah.
So I put it all out there. There's really nothing left for me. And that sounds sad now that I'm saying it out loud. Because my sister-in-law makes these awesome crocheted figures. Like she gave me Haggard last year for Christmas.
Oh, that's nice.
And I was like, you could sell this. And she's like, no, I just like doing it. And I'm like, whoa, what's that like? That's crazy, dude. The courage it takes to not monetize your side hustle in this era.
The courage to just enjoy your time instead of
the courage
directed into sales.
Yes. Wow. That's a talent too.
That is a talent. You know how many stories, or I guess that's also a secret talent. I like to write just like stories or draw. And I would love to make like a comic book or some shit. Then I'm like, how? No one will buy this. Instead of just enjoying the process of making a story.
Yeah, I have recently began just accepting the fact that no one will buy anything I do and just enjoying this.
Hey, people buy this.
Yeah, I know. But I work on it under the assumption that no one will care, is what I'm saying.
Well, as we should, because then otherwise you focus about the wrong things,
Another thing I do. This thing is weird today. Another thing I do is I will come up with the marketing plan before I do the thing, and sometimes the marketing plan is what inspires the idea in itself, which I don't think is good. I think it muddies the water of the purity of creation, Yeah. And so I'll be like, oh, it'd be cool to release something like this. And then I like reverse engineer it.
Yeah.
But that's not the best. But maybe I don't know. I still believe something I do one day will hit big and I'll be able to live my dreams. I just got to keep plugging away.
True that. Double true.
Double true. What was the question even?
Secret talent.
Yeah, I don't have any secret talents except the cashew thing, which is impressive.
Show question. It's spooky season. Have either of you had a vivid nightmare that you will never forget? That's a good question.
I do have a vivid nightmare.
Tell me about your spooks.
I was in an old hotel and I was running away from something, and I get into the elevator, and instead of the elevator having a ceiling, it's like the walls went up for infinity.
Mm-hmm.
And then rotting body parts, heads, arms, legs, started raining down on me. And I was trying to crawl out of the raining body parts, and I woke up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It was pretty bad.
That's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
Now, have you looked up what that means? I am a huge believer in dream interpretation. It's as close as I get to astrology at all. And
I've looked up some dream interpretations in the past. It's just not.
It's like the news. You can't just use one source. You have to use multiple ones.
Yeah.
And I feel like you get a pretty good idea of what's going on with your subconscious.
I think I know pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm pretty self-aware, almost to a detriment.
No.
As my therapist would say.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so self-aware, it hinders me just being a person.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just go about their life without thinking about what they're doing. And I'm thinking about everything I'm doing 1,000 times before I do anything. It's a little OCD-ish.
How did she tell you to get around that?
Just be bold, be myself, and not be scared to be myself, and that it's okay that I take up space. Like, I'm allowed to exist as a person in this world without apologizing for the fact that I am.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how I start the episodes, too, when I do those little intros.
Yeah.
I start with some affirmations. You're safe, you're beautiful, you're loved. Yeah, it's nice. And you start training your brain to say those things.
Yeah.
Because what my anxiety and depression does is it makes me feel like everybody secretly hates me and that everybody will get sick of me at some point.
Yeah.
And so I start to look for signifiers that they are getting sick of me and they are annoyed with me so that I can make the great escape first. Like, so I can protect myself from the pain of being abandoned once again. But what happens is that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Because then I start pushing them away.
Yeah.
Without any communication of like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Also, most people aren't thinking about me in that way.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about myself in that way 1,000 times over. So it's just been a lot of growth in that sense.
Yeah.
And I don't need validation nearly as much as I used to, which is why I don't really feel the need to do stand-up, but sometimes I get the itch and I really got to do it. But, you know, it just is what it is. I'm allowed to exist. It feels good. Feels good. Also, I've realized people can be annoyed with you and still like you. I used to, because I would be looking for those signifiers of distaste, I would think they're just done with me.
Yeah.
And they want to, you know, throw me out of their life forever. Not the case. You can be annoyed with somebody and your mind can change. Like, that's what love is.
Yeah.
Is like coming back to it. So all these little big epiphanies this year, you know?
Right on.
Yeah, you can be pissed at somebody and still really like them.
Yeah, the world is gray. It is not black and white. Just because you don't like someone in the moment or like what they're thinking or doing or whatever, you still be like, chill with them.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
Yeah, it's just interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Also, by the way, I will never leave you.
No, you don't have to say that. This abandonment thing is coming out again you now, and I don't like that. Stop it. Now I want to leave.
Wait, what was the thing? Oh, nightmares.
Oh, yeah. Do you have nightmares? Your dad left. You must have nightmares.
I actually don't really have nightmares because of that. However,
your life is a nightmare.
My life is not a nightmare. My life is pretty chill, but I have been having, I had this weird dream that was almost like a nightmare where I was doing, and I'll break this down.
Okay.
I will break this down for you and get you to understand why I take dream interpretation so seriously.
Okay.
I had this dream that I was doing a Jeff Goldblum impression to this comedian named Ian Fidance. Great comedian. If you know him, you know him. If you don't, look him up. He's fun. And this was a killer Jeff Goldblum impression.
You were ripping it.
I like it's in those moments where you do an impression of someone and it's actually like really good.
Yeah.
And then you're never able to do it again for some reason when you start thinking about it. And I was just doing this killer Jeff Goldblum impression in front of Eatin Finance, and Eatin Finance did not give a shit.
Yeah.
He was completely unfazed.
Which is pretty true to reality, I think, if you were to live that dream.
If I was to do a Jeff Goldblum impression in front of anybody,
Yeah.
there would be a reaction. It's Jeff Goldblum. He is, as the kids would say, zaddy. There's no fucking reason there would be no reaction from a killer Jeff Goldblum impression. And he was giving me nothing in this dream.
Yeah.
Like absolutely not. Like he was looking at me apathetically. Like there was just nothing there with like a tinge of annoyance.
Yeah.
My biggest struggle with comedy lately is that I feel like I'm not me enough on stage. Like I'm wearing too much of my influence on my sleeve, which works in like music or like painting or art or whatever, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really work with comedy. And that was my takeaway. It was like I think subconsciously I'm so afraid of being that influence that I'm not me. And so other comedians wouldn't respect my act. That was my takeaway from that
yeah,
dream.
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I broke that down silently over here. I was like, oh, he wants respect from comedians he respects, but he can't be himself to get that. He doesn't feel true enough in his own voice to get that respect.
You're a modern day Freud.
Yeah. But I would also say it takes a long time to find yourself.
Yeah.
In the comedy world, I have heard the quote, 10 years to find your voice. And I think everybody who starts out is just doing really loose impressions of all the comedians they really love. It's the same thing with music.
Yeah.
But you gather enough influences to create your own voice.
Yeah.
But that's why I try to tell you, Ben, it's not about working hard to be yourself. It's about loosening up to let yourself blossom. Right?
Not your best quote. I like your other quote that's in the quote book.
Yeah, sure.
But I do see what you mean.
Yeah, you can't tighten up. You gotta loosen up. That's at least how I am. That's why I go on stage with simply talking points and I just find it. But it works. I get laughs.
It's insanity.
I know.
It's insanity, and I can't stand by bulletins. Who do you think would win in a fight? Bob Ross or Mr. Rogers?
Oh, that's interesting. Both classically nonviolent characters.
I am going to say Mr. Rogers since he was a Marine.
Mr. Rogers was a Marine, huh? Title.
I'm pretty sure he was a Marine.
So is that little village of people he has all people he's captured?
No, those were all PTSD nightmares that he made to deal with his nom nightmares.
Yeah.
Nom-mares, if you will.
I think Bob Ross got a little freak in him, though.
Bob Ross, here's what Bob Ross would do. I was going to look up if Mr. Rogers was a Marine because I heard that was also fake. Anyway, Bob Ross would paint your death, your demise.
Wow, yeah.
And then
dark.
he would bring it to fruition. That's what Bobby Boy would do.
I think Bobby Boy's got a secret dark side.
Bobby Boy.
That's why he paints.
Bobby Boy would mutilate your living body while saying like incredibly dark things to you.
Yeah, but beautiful things. Like beautiful in a dark way.
Poetic.
Poetic.
For sure. Like an Anne Rice novel. Just like it's twisted, but you're like, oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah, it would still be in that kind of somber, grateful voice he has.
Yeah, I don't really know. This is probably about as close as Bob Ross will ever get. But he would say something like, "You got too many fingers, kid," and then he would cut a finger off. You know what I mean? Like something like that. And you would be horrified, but
I think he would say, there's no such thing as a perfect hand. A hand's still a hand, even if it's missing a few fingers. Because he always talks about that when he's painting these landscapes. He'll be like, oh, what a happy tree. Oh, I messed up on the branch, but not every tree is perfect.
Yeah.
He always says those types. He's like, anybody can paint.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's what he would say.
Yeah, I think Bob Ross is winning.
I think Bob Ross would be more sadistic. Here's the thing: is that this hasn't really turned into who would win the fight. This would just turn into. This has turned into
who's darker.
Who would be the more horrifying torturer?
Yeah,
and I think Bob Ross would be the more horrifying torturer.
But knuckles to knuckles.
But I think Rogers. But I don't know. Bob Ross has some beef on him. Rogers is a little emaciated. He's a little.
Emaciated.
He made
emaciated.
The same
mistake last episode.
God damn it. The moment I said that, I was like, this isn't the right word. He's emaciated. Doesn't got enough meat on his bones. But Bob Ross,
he'll eat a steak.
Bob Ross is eating steak.
Yeah. Title. Bob Ross got meat on his bones. He's a strong guy. Don't let that fro fool you.
He's got knives in the fro.
Oh, yeah. He's got weapons
He's got him in there.
I'm sticking with Bob.
You know what? I'll stick with Bob too. I think you're right. Pound for pound, I think Bob Ross has him beat.
I'll see if I can find some video footage of Bob Ross working out to put over this. It'll just be footage of Mr. Rogers talking to the mailman next to it.
That is
Mr. Speedy.
If they don't, that is the only use that we need for AI, is to make old 1980s footage of Bob Ross working out.
Yeah, and I don't know how to use that. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to video prompt.
God damn it.
But I could try to figure it out.
That'd be so good.
Yeah. All right. Bob Ross, Bobby boy.
Bobby R.
We got
Bob R.
This might be the last. This is actually the last one.
Last one? Okay. Well, you know what that means. It's manifestation time.
Yeah. Violence, violence, violence in the trees. Violence, violence with Bobby and me. Bob is a killer. Rogers is a pussy. Violence, violence, this is Jar of Pain. Violence, violence, this is Jar of Pain. Pretty dark.
I liked it. If Kermit the Frog had hot dog fingers, what condiment would he dip them in?
One more time. Let's get it clean. Let's get it clean. It's the last question. Do you want me to read it? Here, I got you. I don't even know what it says. If Kermit the Frog had hot dog fingers, what condiment would he dip them in? Wow. You're a creative bunch.
Oh, this is why people hate the younger generation. Who thinks of that?
Yeah, it's kind of a creepy thing to think of.
Think of other things. Because what is he going to do after he dips his hot dog fingers in condiments? Is he eating his own fingers?
Yeah, I think that's the... Oh.
Why?
Maybe they grow back like lizard tails.
And also...
Does it hurt?
Does it hurt?
It's more delicious than it hurts.
I was wondering if they grew back. And also if they grew back, they're definitely going to be like more calloused. So like at that point...
It's just a better dog. It's just got a better snap.
I've never heard someone describe the quality of a hot dog because of its snap.
You never heard that?
Never.
There are very different qualities of dog based on snap.
That is so interesting. But it makes sense.
Because real hot dogs are encased in like real intestines.
Yeah.
They have a hearty snap, a crunch. Whereas Oscar Mayer, 89 cents for 8 dogs, it's just mush.
It's just mush.
It's just mush.
Yeah.
So I think the cows would actually make a better dog. But the real core of the question is which condiment. It's not about the fingers. We don't have to question how this works
it's not
anatomically.
If he would have Oscar Mayer fingers or Ballpark Frank fingers. It's sauce.
It's what is Kermit's sauce?
What type of sauce?
I could throw ranch out the window right now. I
Right
don't
out the
think
window.
you're putting ranch
Here's
on
the
a
thing.
dog.
Kermit is...
He's a frog.
But he's a classic guy. He's a classy guy and he's a classic guy.
Yeah, he's a true red-blooded American.
So I think he's gonna treat his fingies Chicago style.
Yeah, no ketchup.
No ketchup.
Mustard.
The mustard and the works.
Well, is the works a condiment?
I'm talking. I don't care at this point. I told you he's a classic guy. He's going to treat each and every one of his fingers
With respect.
Chicago style.
Yeah.
Each finger has a bun, and that bun is loaded.
Yeah.
Loaded.
As they say, dragged through the garden.
Dragged through the garden. I like that. Never heard it, but I'm gonna use
That just
it.
means like
The
all of it.
works.
All of it. The works.
Vegetables,
We're putting tomatoes. We're putting onions.
onions. What else do they put?
Jardiniere.
Horseradish,
I've never had that on a dog. But
but a Chicago dog.
they have hot peppers,
Yeah.
sport peppers they call them.
Yeah.
I don't know I think jardiniere is for Italian beef, with another Chicago food staple.
Yeah,
But jardiniere is like a spicy pickled vegetable medley.
yeah.
But hell, put that on there too. That stuff is delicious. But no, absolutely no ketchup.
That's why I would never be Kermit the Frog, because I would put ketchup on my hot dog fingers.
It's just jelly. It's tomato jelly, you know?
It's good,
But it's just sugar. It's just candy.
but it's good.
But I want the
I put mustard on my dogs too.
That's a wet dog. Too much sauce.
You just do a little line.
Is it possible Kermit would put chili on there?
Are you talking like a Cleveland dog?
What is that?
A Cleveland chili dog?
Well, I've just had chili dogs. I wasn't in Cleveland.
It's okay. I think maybe it's a Cincinnati.
I think you're
chili?
thinking Cincinnati chili, which is not for hot dogs. It's for spaghetti noodles.
That's an affront to God, and I hate it. But
It's actually pretty good.
I bet it would, because it's just meat and pasta, just different. I don't like it.
It's like spaghetti, but instead of spaghetti sauce, it's chili. But chili and spaghetti sauce not too far apart, just different spices. And a lot of the same, honestly.
I'm sorry, my brain just died because you said that marinara and chili are not too far apart.
They're not. Next week, I'll have a great chili for you, and you can taste it.